Hello everybody, it's EzraTime again here. Welcome back to another video, and today I want to give you guys my thoughts and breakdown on Godzilla X Kong, the new empire. Now, I know that I probably should do like a reaction video to this, but honestly this trailer was released on 1 a.m. on my time zone, and well, everybody's already doing a reaction videos, and I just want to like I guess share my opinions and my breakdown for the trailer. I think that's just the way that I wanted to do it, because I feel like reaction is like, yeah, okay, fine, like I think many people already done that, and so far, I actually love the first trailer for Godzilla X Kong, because I think it's just a fun, cheesy monsterverse movie, which I think it's not for everyone, because I think I heard some people already complaining that they're not liking the direction for the monsterverse to go, but I feel like for me, I was completely fine with it, because as long they are cheesy but fun to watch, and has a lot of like monster battle in it, I wouldn't be, I wouldn't mind, at least in my opinion, because it kind of, you could compare this movie, I guess you could say that, to the Showa era for Godzilla, which we're gonna talk about that later, Before the trailer itself, I think it's really just a good trailer in my opinion, that teasing the fact that something bigger is coming, about the Hollow Earth, because we see the Hollow Earth before in Godzilla vs. Kong, but we never actually explore that much about the Hollow Earth. It's pretty much just like Kong running around the Hollow Earth, and then that's it. It's pretty much just like we see several life form in Hollow Earth, but nothing much. I guess we see the war bat, which I think is pretty cool, but not much. And I feel like we see a bit of the King Kong, I guess past or legend, you could say that, but we never actually got anything too much out of it, so that's why I'm glad that in this trailer they are showing many of the Hollow Earth, because we see Kong a lot in this trailer, where we see him founding this small apes, I think, which is not exactly his species, but I think it's kind of like the similar species for Scar King. I think that's the new villain for this movie, which is like an orangutan ape, you could say that, or monkey. And this is kind of like an allusion, for me at least, to Son of Kong, because I think previously they are discussing the fact that this movie is potentially could be titled Son of Kong, and I feel like we are getting that here, with Kong like adopting this kid, obviously, well, kid, quote unquote, and took him under his wing and then maybe train him for the future, because we see him like being friendly. So, and he's from the Scar King tribe, and I think we can safely assume that, which I think I'm curious to see. Why is this mini Kong is like alone, like what actually happened to his parents, which I'm assuming Scar King probably killed the parents, maybe, because maybe they tried to disobey the Scar King, because we see later on that there is many Kongs in this Hollow Earth, which I think is really, really cool. And I think this is like a different species as well. And I think this might be the orangutan species, in Hollow Earth, that pretty much just follow Scar King. And we see a bunch of marks in their body, and then obviously the hand thing, that we saw in the Kong Skull Island, and then it's also showed up in Godzilla vs Kong, and then we see it again in the new Empire here, and I think this hand mark right here, this red one, I think is belonging to the Scar King, and then we see this hand mark on a bunch of Kongs, in the Hollow Earth, and it seems like they look terrified when they see Scar King for the first time. And to me, this is pretty insane that we see there is many Kong that pretty much survive in Hollow Earth, but I don't think this is like the same species as Kong. But at the same time, it's like a subspecies, you could say that. And I think this is a fun idea to see King Kong potentially becoming, King Kong, because so far we only call him Kong throughout the entire, monsterverse. So he's not exactly king yet, even though I know that in Kong Skull Island they describe him as, Kong. He's the king around Skull Island, he's god to these people, But I feel like in this one, he's not exactly a king yet, but I think that's gonna be the end of the movie, where he actually becoming or getting the title King Kong after defeating Scar King, And yeah, also on top of that, I want to talk about Godzilla. I know that there is some stuff that I kind of skipping, but trust me, I'm gonna get to that later. Some small details that I want to talk about, but I want to get to the big part first. Which is now is about Godzilla. And obviously Godzilla is my favorite kaiju ever, or I guess in this one they call him Titan. And then we see Godzilla a bit in the final trailer, and I think we see the test screening audience review, and they basically said that Godzilla has a limited amount of screen time, which make me just like, oh man, really? Like Godzilla having a limited amount of screen time again, you know? But at the same time, I'm really hoping that if Godzilla was on the screen, it could be super hype, you know? And it seems like we are getting that in this movie because it seems like this movie pretty much selling us the point that, well, I think Scar King and, you know, Kong and Godzilla is going to fight, you know? I think King Kong is going to fight Scar King in the first round, and then obviously he lost, and then maybe Scar King is going to fight Godzilla, and then Godzilla also lost, and eventually he has to, you know, evolve in Antarctica, basically absorbing this radiation from Hollow Earth, and eventually evolving into the this pink Godzilla, you could say that. And I feel like this design right here, I think it's a cool looking design, and I think this might be a reference or like a homage to Millennium Godzilla or like Godzilla 2000, you know, where he has like these sharp spikes, and then except the difference is that it's not exactly pink or my magenta thing is red, you know, like the atomic breath is actually red on that movie, you know, but in this one it's actually pink or I guess magenta, right? And I see some people complain about the CGI of Godzilla, which I guess is not the best looking CGI, but at the same time, this is just the first trailer, you know, and I think I heard that the trailer was supposed to be released earlier this year, but I think because the SAG-AFTRA strike, they weren't able to do that, so that's why we get the trailer now in December. Again, I might be wrong because I heard this news from Chris from 3C Films, you know, and he said that, and I feel like, well, based on the information alone, if that was actually true, then obviously they're still developing the CGI or like the visual effects for this movie, you know, because I don't think this is like the final look for the VFX for Godzilla. I think the VFX is going to be improved in the movie itself. You know, I think we're gonna see that in the final product, and I think that might be the reason why they delayed the movie like a month, maybe, which is like maybe to give the VFX team enough time, I guess, to perfect the visual effects in this movie, probably, you know, and even though they gave like an extra month, but I guess hey, like they are willing to delay at least, you know, for an extra month for that. Which yeah, again, I think it's all right, you know. I think it's not that bad looking, but I feel like in the final product it's gonna be way better. And in terms of the plot point for the movie, I think again, like I said before, I think we are going to see Scar King fighting Godzilla and Kong maybe in the first round, and then they both lost, and then they finally have to team up in the end, where we get to see this money shot in the end, where we see Godzilla and King Kong are running together. Which to some people this might look goofy, seeing Godzilla running with, you know, running really fast, and Kong is trying to catch up probably, but at the same time, again, for me, I don't really mind this kind of like cheesiness for the monsterverse as long they are entertaining, and I think that's what we are getting in this movie. That it's just an entertaining movie overall, and it's not the kind of movie that's supposed to be taken seriously. Even though yes, this is like a weird direction for the monsterverse, you know, because again, the Godzilla 2014 was grounded and realistic. It was dark, literally, you know, so it's definitely a tone departure from the Godzilla 2014 era, and I feel like the MonsterVerse, you know, era right now is like the cinematic universe that is super cheesy and fun to watch, you know, and I'm all in for it, you know. But that's just me because I compare this moment right here to the Fast and Furious franchise, you know, where it was starting pretty realistically, it was pretty well written, and then eventually it gets to Fast 5, which is like the best one, and then you get to Fast X, you know, which is like super ridiculous and super over the top, you know, and I feel like the audience are just kind of accepting the fact that yeah, it was cheesy and fun at the same time, and I feel like that's why I think that's where the MonsterVerse direction is going to go right now. It's gonna be super cheesy, which again I'm personally fine with that, you know, but I know that some people are complaining, and I understand that, you know, because this is like a tonal departure from the previous movie itself, and yeah, I totally understand, man. But I feel like for me, I'm open-minded. You know, I'm willing to see if this is going to be a super fun movie, and that's all I want to see. You know, and on top of that, besides Godzilla evolving, we also see King Kong wearing this glove, you know, which I think a lot of people joking that, oh, he's wearing the Infinity Gauntlet. You know, we see him like immersed in the Egypt, I think, where we see him wearing this mechanical arm, you know, and some people joke again, the Infinity Gauntlet, the Transformer joke, you know, which makes me really curious to see where Kong is getting this mechanical arm, you know, because I feel like Monarch might be the one who built this arm for King Kong, but at the same time, maybe he get this from the Hollow Earth, you know, because we saw in Hollow Earth, you know, because the character Gia from the previous movie, which is like from the Iwi tribe, I think, from appeared in Kong Skull Island, and because Kong Skull Island was destroyed, Gia is like the last member of the tribe, at least in you know, the servers, you know, and it seems like on the Hollow Earth we actually saw this. We saw this many Iwi tribe that basically live on the Hollow Earth, and it seems that they're having this like, I don't know how to describe it, but at least there is a glowing thing, in the hollow earth, and there is like a staircase that basically lead to I don't know where it leads to, but I'm assuming that it leads to a lot of radiation probably, because it looks so fantastical, seeing this tribe that basically live in hollow earth for such a long time, which, like, yeah, I think kind of goes back to the legend that we see human and titan are actually coexist together way back in the day. And I think, like, we are going to see many more history about that in this movie, which got me excited, like more story to tell. And so far, for the rest of the human characters, we got Dan Steven, Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry returning, but I feel like at the same time I don't really care for their characters. The only characters that I care about is actually Gia, played by Kaylee Hotley, I think, right? And she's pretty much the only one that I care about, because she's the one that has a bond with Kong, because I think Kaylee's performance, like the facial expression is actually really, really good in my opinion. So I really digging the fact that she's maybe becoming one of my favorite human characters, like for the connection, for the EV tribe stuff, for the plot point that we are going to see in the future. I think it's gonna be really exciting to see where they're gonna go headed with this character, but at the same time, well, yeah, that's for my thoughts for the human characters. It's like whatever, but I feel like for Kong and Godzilla is actually pretty exciting, to see where they are heading next for the monsterverse, because I think they are going to do more movies in the future, with Godzilla and Kong. And I think even Adam Wingard, the director, said himself that now we are already seeing, Godzilla and King Kong. It's almost impossible for them to separate the two of them, because they are appearing on one movie now. So I think the future MonsterVerse movie is gonna be the Godzilla X Kong like franchise, or like trilogy, you could say that, and I'm really hoping that we are going to see some similar monster from the Toho universe, like Gigan, or like Space Godzilla, Destroya, right? Or Destroya, I think, and maybe Biolante. Like, I would love to see those kind of monster in the monsterverse, and saying Godzilla and King Kong try to defeat them and save the earth. I would love to see that, hopefully in the future movies, because right now they are only featuring one new titan, which is the Scar King, and I think I heard there is another titan that they are not showing here, and I think the titan is called Shimu, I think, if I'm not mistaken, which again, I know there is like a picture for like the toy and the merchandise, which I'm not going to show here because I don't want to spoil people. But if you guys are curious, you guys can look it up yourself, Godzilla X Kong Shimu, because that was leaked a couple of months ago, I think, and I think some YouTubers already discussed about the leak, so you guys can definitely search that up if you want to know more about Shimu the Titan, and I think Shimu is going to be the one of the greatest threat in this movie alongside Scar King, which I think it's going to be pretty exciting to see that maybe in the second trailer where they finally show Shimu, maybe. But I guess we'll see, man, because I think this entire movie's got me excited, as a monsterverse, and man, what a time to be a Godzilla fan, because we got Monarch Legacy of the Monster, we got Godzilla -1, even though again Godzilla -1 is not releasing on my country, Indonesia, which makes me really sad. Hopefully maybe in the next year, maybe in the next couple of months, we get to see I get to see Godzilla -1 on my country, because I really wanted to see that movie, because a lot of people already said that there's like the best Godzilla movie they ever seen, so I'm just like, man, that got me hyped even more, and I'm really hoping that I could watch Godzilla -1 on theaters, because I feel like they could just release this movie on DVD, for my country, because I know that they are releasing this on United States, the UK and Canada thing, which, like, yeah, lucky for you guys able to watch this movie on December, but for me, gotta wait for a couple of months, or maybe not at all, But anyway, guys, that's my breakdown for Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, which I think, again, really exciting stuff for the MonsterVerse fans, and I know that this is not for everyone, and that's totally fine, and for those who are complaining for the CGI, I would probably say that maybe we should wait until the final movie just to see if the CGI are improving, because I feel like so far there are many good CGI in the trailer itself, and I think they're still not in the process for completing the CGI, because I don't think they just like complete the movie and just like sit there and wait for until April, until the movie release, I don't think so. I think they are still in post-production, try to complete the movie in terms of the VFX, or the CGI, I think they are still trying to perfect that, and I think we are going to see that maybe in the second trailer if Godzilla CGI is improving or not. I guess we'll see. But for me, I was like, it's fine, for the first trailer, it's not that bad. And I do like the design as well, where they give Godzilla like a much longer arm here, you know. Like I think this boy right here is going to like grab the fucking Titan and then maybe like holding the Titan to his body and then letting Kong to like punching the Titan. I think that would be really cool to see that, because I think they are going to team up maybe in the final battle, you know. Hopefully we get to see Godzilla and Kong like throughout the movie, but I don't think we are getting that, you know. I think we got that a little bit maybe in the second like in the first half of the movie, maybe just like a little bit, and then we are definitely gonna getting that a lot in the last part of the movie, because I think Adam Wingard said himself that there is an 8-minute sequence with the monster, you know, that got me excited, you know. Is that the final battle like 8 minutes long? Like I would love to see that, and it seems like the final battle might be taking place in Rio de Janeiro, you know, because we see that in the poster, we see that Scar King in the beach from Brazil, you know. We also see the behind the scenes stuff, so I think that's gonna be exciting. And also Scar King kind of remind me of Koba from you know Planet of the Apes movie, like the reboot, you know. I think that's a good sign for him, because I think Koba is a good villain. So yeah, I guess we'll see what Scar King do in this movie, because so far I was like, okay, like he's a giant orangutan, you know, which is like taller than Kong. He's like 400 feet tall, while Kong in this movie was like 337 feet, I think, which is like, yeah, clearly Scar King is way taller, but it's like, yeah, I'm really waiting to see Scar King's abilities for him to able to beat Kong and Godzilla at the same time. Like I would love to see his abilities, you know, to convince me that why Godzilla and Kong need to evolve and teaming up to defeat Scar King, you know, because like so far I'm just like, yeah, okay, like he's cool looking, but I want to see him in action, you know. So I guess we'll see what happens about that, you know. And I'm also really glad that in the first trailer they don't really spoil too much of the battle sequences, you know. I do hope we get to see like some teases here and there about the monster battle in the second trailer, you know, but not that much, you know, because obviously I don't want to be spoiled. But I guess we'll see about that maybe in the second trailer. But so yeah, guys, that's pretty much my review and breakdown for Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. You know, you guys can let me know in the comment section below. You know, what do you guys think about this trailer right here? You know, are you guys excited, or are you guys like being pessimistic? You know, because again, some people did not like where the monsterverse direction is going. You know, which is totally fine, because everyone has a different opinions. You know, I would love to hear your guys' opinions. If you guys did you guys like this direction where the monsterverse is going? You know, which is going to the Fast and Furious territory, which is like going, or like the Showa era of Godzilla, which is like super cheesy and super, you know, like over the top, you know, and doesn't make any goddamn sense, you know. Like, are you guys liking that direction, or do you guys prefer the old realistic and dark monsterverse, like which is the Godzilla 2014 movie, you know? Like, do you guys prefer that or this new direction? Like, let me know about that in the comment section below, and please be chill about it, relax, because I know people have different opinions, and that's totally fine. You want to share that? Go ahead, you know. I'm listening. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure guys stomp that subscribe and like button, guys, and stay tuned for more videos in the future. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one then. Bye.